Right now, you're probably doing the same thing millions of Americans are doing, checking your bank balance, counting every dollar, and hoping nothing unexpected breaks or goes wrong. Groceries cost more, rent keeps climbing, gas hits your wallet every single week. And no matter how hard you work, it feels like your money just disappears faster than ever. This isn't just news. This is about your family, your bills, your future, and your peace of mind. Maybe you've delayed a doctor visit. Maybe you're skipping vacations. Maybe you're choosing which bill gets paid first. That's the real America today. And that's why the words $2,000 stimulus check hit differently right now. Because for you, that money isn't a luxury. It's breathing room. It could cover groceries for months. It could stop late fees. It could help you catch up, not just survive. And that's exactly why today's update matters more than ever. But here's the big question. Is this $2,000 stimulus real? Who actually qualifies? And when could it really arrive? Stay with me, because the answer might surprise you. Why this conversation is exploding again. Over the past few weeks, stimulus talk has exploded online. Social media is buzzing, news clips are popping up everywhere. People are asking the same urgent question. Is help finally coming back? When prices stay high and paychecks don't stretch, relief becomes a necessity, not a political talking point. Millions of families are still recovering from inflation shock. Credit card balances are rising. Emergency savings are shrinking. And many Americans are one unexpected expense away from financial stress. That's why stimulus discussions are resurfacing. Not because people want handouts, but because they need stability. You're not asking for luxury. You're asking for fairness, security, and a little breathing room. Lawmakers are under pressure. Voters are watching. Economic signals are mixed. And behind the scenes, conversations are happening that could shape the next financial relief move. But this isn't simple. Stimulus payments don't just appear overnight. There are rules, funding debates, eligibility requirements, and political hurdles. So before we jump to excitement, we need to understand the real situation clearly. Not hype, not rumors, but reality. Let's break it down step by step. Why Americans still need relief. Here's the truth. The economy might look stable on paper, but your wallet tells a very different story. Rent increases haven't slowed down, food prices remain stubborn, insurance premiums keep climbing, and wages? They're not keeping pace for many families. You may feel like you're working harder than ever, yet saving less than ever. That's not your imagination. That's real financial pressure. Many households are living paycheck to paycheck again. Emergency funds are getting drained. Credit cards are filling the gap just to survive. The biggest problem isn't just inflation, it's recovery fatigue. People use their savings during tough years. Stimulus helped before, but that cushion is gone now. And without extra support, families remain vulnerable. This is exactly why stimulus discussions keep returning. Not because everything is broken, but because millions still haven't fully recovered. When basic living costs stay elevated, financial relief becomes a safety net, not a bonus. And that leads directly into why this $2,000 conversation matters so much right now. What the $2,000 stimulus talk actually means. Let's clarify something important. When people hear $2,000 stimulus, many assume checks are already approved and ready to send. That's not how it works. Stimulus discussions usually begin as proposals, policy conversations, or relief planning ideas. Different groups push for relief based on economic conditions, voter pressure, and budget realities. Sometimes it leads to action. Sometimes it stalls. Right now, the $2,000 number represents a potential relief amount that's being talked about in policy circles and public discussions, not a guaranteed payout yet. That doesn't mean it's fake. It means it's still in motion. Think of this like a weather forecast. You see storm clouds forming, but the rain hasn't started yet. The key question becomes, who would qualify if it moves forward? How would payments be delivered? How long would approval actually take? Those answers shape whether this becomes real money in your account or stays a headline. And that's where things get interesting. Who could potentially qualify? If stimulus moves forward, eligibility usually follows familiar patterns. Most relief programs prioritize working families, seniors, fixed-income households, and middle-income earners. Typically, eligibility could depend on income thresholds, tax filing status, household size, citizenship or residency status, benefit enrollment. Lower and middle-income households often qualify first because they feel inflation pressure the hardest. If you rely on Social Security, SSDI, SSI, or retirement income, you're usually included in relief planning. Families with dependents may also receive additional support depending on structure. However, and this matters, eligibility rules can change every time a program is created. Nothing is final until legislation is passed. That's why staying informed is critical. Rumors spread fast. Facts move slower. The real takeaway: if relief happens, millions of everyday Americans could qualify. But no one should assume automatic approval yet. How payments would likely be delivered. If stimulus is approved, distribution would likely follow familiar systems. Direct deposit would be the fastest option for people with bank information on file. Others may receive paper checks or prepaid cards depending on past tax filings and benefit enrollment. Delivery timelines typically depend on system readiness, funding release speed, processing capacity, verification checks. In previous programs, some people received money in days, others waited weeks or longer. Your banking setup matters more than you think. Keeping information updated can reduce delays. One major factor is whether agencies already have your current information. Outdated addresses or closed accounts can slow things down significantly. The goal of any relief program is speed, but logistics always create friction. This is why planning ahead and staying alert makes a real difference. The real impact on your life. Now let's talk about what $2,000 actually means for you. Not in theory, but in real life. That money could cover rent, catch up on utilities, pay down high-interest debt, rebuild emergency savings. For families, it could stabilize grocery budgets. For seniors, it could cover medical costs. For workers, it could create breathing room between paychecks. It's not about luxury spending. It's about restoring balance. Financial stress affects sleep, health, relationships, and mental clarity. Relief creates stability. Stability creates better decisions. Better decisions build stronger futures. Even one-time support can reset momentum when families feel stuck. That's why stimulus matters emotionally, not just financially. It represents relief, dignity, and a sense that someone understands the pressure you're under. Let's pause and recap quickly. Americans are still facing serious cost pressure. Stimulus discussions are gaining attention again. $2,000 is a proposed relief idea, not confirmed yet. Eligibility would likely target everyday households. Payments would use direct deposit or mail delivery. The impact could be meaningful for millions of families. Now here's where things get interesting, because timing and political momentum could change everything. And this is where the wait for it moment begins. Economic pressure creates political pressure. When voters feel financial strain, leaders listen. We're entering a period where economic stability becomes a top priority in public conversation. Inflation trends, consumer spending patterns, and financial stress indicators influence decision-making behind closed doors. When enough pressure builds, action becomes more likely. That doesn't mean instant approval, but it does mean movement increases. Here's the suspense. Relief programs often move quietly until suddenly they accelerate. One announcement, one vote, one funding shift. And everything changes fast. If stimulus advances, timelines could compress quickly. That's why staying informed now matters more than waiting later. Because when news breaks, people who are prepared move faster than those who scramble. What could speed things up? Several factors could accelerate stimulus decisions: rising cost of living pressure, public demand and voter attention, economic slowdowns, budget negotiations, emergency economic signals. When these forces align, relief becomes more politically viable. Governments act when stability is at risk. Financial stress affects spending, growth, and public confidence. If pressure continues building, stimulus discussions gain urgency. Momentum matters more than headlines. Quiet negotiations often lead to sudden announcements, not slow public debates. This is why watchers stay alert for signals rather than rumors. And right now, signals are growing louder. What could delay or stop it? Not everything moves smoothly. Stimulus always faces resistance. Concerns include budget impact, inflation risks, political disagreement, timing conflicts, funding sources. Some leaders worry about adding more spending too quickly. Others argue relief is necessary to stabilize households. This push and pull creates uncertainty. That's why no one should treat stimulus as guaranteed until officially approved. Reality sits between optimism and caution. The smart approach: stay informed, not emotional. How you can prepare. Right now, even without confirmation, preparation helps. Make sure your banking info is current. Keep tax records organized. Monitor official updates, not rumors. Avoid scams promising guaranteed checks. Budget responsibly. Don't spend money you don't have yet. Being ready puts you ahead if payments move forward. Prepared people experience less stress and faster access. Small steps today prevent chaos later. Why staying informed protects your wallet. Information equals power, especially in financial moments. Scammers thrive on confusion. Misinformation spreads quickly. Panic decisions cost money. When you stay informed, you protect your wallet and your peace of mind. Reliable updates help you avoid mistakes and act confidently. That's exactly why this channel exists, to give you clear, simple, honest breakdowns without hype. Your financial future deserves clarity, not confusion. The emotional turning point. Think about what stability would feel like: a paid bill, a quiet night's sleep, less anxiety checking your account, more confidence planning your future. That's what financial breathing room really gives you. Not luxury, but peace. Hope matters, momentum matters, knowledge matters. And when opportunity arrives, preparation turns hope into reality. Your future doesn't change overnight, but it changes when you stay informed and ready. Here's the bottom line. The $2,000 stimulus conversation is real, evolving, and worth watching closely. It could impact your wallet, your family, and your financial stability. But timing matters, facts matter, preparation matters. If you want real updates, not rumors, this is where you stay connected. Subscribe for future updates. Turn on notifications so you never miss breaking news. Share this video with someone who needs clarity and hope. Stay informed, stay prepared, and protect your financial future. Your money matters. Your family matters. Your future matters. And we'll keep bringing you the updates that help you stay ahead.